I'm going to show you how to make felt flowers like these. I used them on this wreath, but you can certainly use them for making hair clips or any number of other crafty type activities. You need for this project scissors, felt, glue gun, super cheap, $3 at Michael's. And you're going to take your felt and you need to cut out a square. I know somebody's going to ask, I don't measure my squares, but they're roughly 2.5 to 3.5 inches squares. If you're into measuring, go for it. If not, doesn't really matter. And then you're going to just roughly round out the edges of your square. This does not have to be perfect. There's no part of this project that requires perfection or measuring or worrying too much about everything. It's not part of my craft philosophy. It has to be easy, it has to be inexpensive, and it has to be quick. This is all of those things. Okay, this circle, not perfect, but all the edges are rounded out. That's all that really matters. You're going to start wherever you want and you're going to cut in a spiral. Depending on how perfect you want your flowers to look is going to decide how careful you're going to be about the width of your spirals. I kind of like when the flowers have a little bit of depth to them, different heights. I think it makes them look better, so I don't worry at all about my spirals. Some cuts are a little bit thinner, some are a little bit thicker. It all works out in the end. And as you're cutting, just turn your felt. When you get in towards the middle, you're going to leave this tab. So you have this kind of blobby circular tab at the end. And you can see it's roughly the same size throughout, but it's definitely different thicknesses going along. So once you have your spiral, you're just going to roll it up. And the inside edge is your cut edge right here. So you're just going to roll. Depending on how comfortable you are with these, you can put a little dot of glue along to hold it together. Sometimes, felt sticks to itself, so these are pretty easy to hold together until you get to the end, but sometimes it's just hard to keep it from unraveling. This kind of wants to unravel a little bit, depending on the size of your flower is going to determine how easy it is to roll up. And obviously, the bigger your square, the bigger your flower. So, and felt's really cheap. It's 30 cents for an 8.5 by 11 sheet or less. When you get to the end, see this tab? It folds over on the bottom. So easy. So you just put a little glue. You don't need a lot. This weighs next to nothing. It holds together very easily. Put a little glue. Press the tab. There's the bottom. Here's your flower. And if there's some of these edges that you don't quite like, you can trim them down. Sometimes this last little part sticks out a little bit too much, so I add a little spot of glue to hold that together. And you're done. And then, you can see I have different size flowers, which means that I use different size squares of felt. Some are probably 2 inches, some closer to 3.5, 4. It just depends. I don't measure, I just cut, I go with what I end up with. And there you have it.